Well, hello and welcome back for our second round of oral presentations. I'd like to welcome Matthew Bourne and Stephen Williamson up, and they're going to give a presentation on autonomous ice fishing system. So please join me in welcoming them.
Hi, I'm Stephen Williamson, and this is Matthew Bourne. We're both electrical engineering technology students. Today we're going to be presenting our senior design project, which is an autonomous ice fishing system. When we started this project in the fall, the first thing we needed to do was do some background research to see what kind of systems are currently available on the market. This is the most popular one right here. It's called the Jawjacker. This system can set the hook on a fish, and for an additional price, you can add the function of jigging. We saw a lot of room for improvement on this design, so our goal became to design a completely new system that will greatly outperform all other systems on the market. To do this, we used the engineering design process. We started off with just sketching basic ideas and really trying to figure out how this thing is going to function. We came up with the idea that this thing needed to reel out to a set position, sense when a fish bites, set the hook on the fish, and then reel it in while fighting the fish to a set home position. We needed to design some key interfaces along the way, such as the motor reel interface, which attaches to the motor, and the rod reel handle fits into it so that we can spin the reel with the motor. All of this eventually led into our first prototype.
So our first prototype was something we built it exactly like we designed in our first semester. So this included a sliding mechanism, a PVC pipe holder, and a flex sensor. While this design we thought would work, it didn't work as well as we thought it would. And some issues that we had was the rod was not able to stay in a fixed position, as well as the flex sensor was not accurate at all. So we designed our second prototype 4 days later. We used a fixed rod strap holder, and this worked a little bit better, but we weren't able to take out the rod exactly like we would have liked to. We would like to do it in one single motion, as well as the flex sensor still wasn't working at this time. The next prototype we made, we improved the rod holder by using broom clamps, and we also improved the motor to reel interface by making it deeper, and we started using a load cell as well that could measure the smallest of bites and was extremely accurate. Okay. So we took this one out lab testing, and then okay, yeah, there we go. We took it out lab testing, and once did all the testing on that, we were ready to go fishing. And so this is our third prototype fishing. Just before I start the video, we would just like to say that this fishing day was a huge success. I was fishing myself, and I caught 2 fish on my own. The Jawjacker that we had set up caught 0 fish, and our system caught 5 fish completely on its own. Okay. 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 So as you can see, it's jigging here. It is jigging, and then as soon as the fish bites, we set the hook on the fish, and we slowly reel in until we have too much pressure and it stops the reeling in, until we finally get the fish all the way up to the ice hole. As you see, we caught the fish. Okay. So Something that wasn't shown in this video is its ability to reel in and out, or backwards, and let line out. If there's too much pressure on the line, it can cause line breakage, and so we programmed it to be able to let out line if there's too much pressure on the line. And we are always monitoring depth to make sure that we stop when the fish is at the ice hole. Okay, so this is the results from our ice fishing day. Like I said, our system caught its full limit of fish. So we could have put back the fish, but because there's a 5-fish limit, we were able to take the fish, and these fish are coho salmon, which are extremely tasty fish. And so from this, we made some changes from our third prototype. So we proved that our code worked exactly how we would like it to, but we wanted to fix the weight of the system as well as increasing the aesthetics of the system, waterproofing the system, and we wanted to increase the user experience by making it easier to use. Because our system caught 5 fish, we decided to name it the limiter. Now this is the limiter. There's a lot of key features to this. We have our load cell, which is reading how much pressure is on the line. We have a rod stabilizer, which makes sure that the rod doesn't slip out of the motor reel interface. We have a bunch of buttons, which allows the user to easily change the depth that they're fishing and set the home position and to start fishing. They can also have jigging or no jigging. This is the backside of our system. We have our component box with all of our electronics inside of it. We have an easy to use handle to pick up and bring around from hole to hole, as well as a battery lock and a battery plug-in port, which allows for the user to switch out batteries and charge the battery. We also have our name on there to increase the aesthetics of the design. We then took the system out once we finished this system, we decided to take it out to test it inside the Jacob Eddy because we ran out of ice. So as you can see here, we set the home position and bring it down to the desired fishing depth. There's nothing in the bag right now, but as soon as we set the home position, then I drop in a weight as a fish will bite. Then it sets the hook on the fish and reels it up to the home position, but I stop it and it will stop reeling in. I then pull it down more, increasing the pressure past the threshold, and it will let out line. It will then bring the fish all the way up to the desired home position.
Here are the current production costs for our system. As you can see, it costs $142 to make this thing. We believe there is a market out there and people would like to purchase this, and we think we could sell it for $350. In comparison, the Jawjacker with jigging costs $190. We believe our system is way more advanced than the Jawjacker and it catches more fish. Here are some design highlights. We have a jigging mode that can be turned on and off. We can detect the smallest of fish bites by using the load cell. We have precise control over the entire system by using the encoder. We have variable reel-in speed depending on the fish behavior during the reel-in sequence. We have variable depth setting control, and our system is completely unique. There is nothing else on the market like this. Looking forward, the first thing we're going to look to do is patent the design. We can then improve on our existing design by adding a full-on display. This can allow the user to adjust the jigging motion and change the sensitivity of the load cell. We can continue to decrease material and production costs, add a printed circuit board and a wiring harness assembly to make it easy to assemble. This system is legal. This is the Michigan fishing law, and the rule that applies most to systems of this type is this. Basically, all lines must be under immediate control. This means we need to be near our system supervising it the entire time. We can't just leave it out there alone. I have some acknowledgements now. I'd like to thank the Engineering Technology Department for supporting us I'd like to thank Professor Joe Ruthier for 3D printing help, and Dr. Seth Norberg and Dr. Cale Polkinghorn for continuing to push us to make this thing the best it can possibly be. That's all we have. I'd like to open it up for some questions now. Lithium phosphate iron battery. It's a 12-volt battery. It's good for cold weather performance.
And your battery life?
While it was jigging, we got a battery life of 4 hours. The good thing about our system is that the battery can easily be replaced. We just have a plug-in port, and pretty much all 12-volt batteries can be plugged into the system. All right, thank you guys for your time.
We'll start the next presentation in about 5 minutes.
I would like, oh, the live stream, so I have to leave my home. Okay. I mean, happiness and oh, okay.
Is on COVID-19 versus higher education, understand the exigencies through the students' perspectives in online learning. So please welcome me in welcoming Micah.
Awesome. Okay. Hello, guys. My name is Micah Benjamin. I'm a nursing major at Northern, obviously, and my research is titled COVID-19 versus Higher Education, Understanding the Extrinsicies Through the Student's Perspective in Online Learning. So I'd like to give acknowledgements first prior to the presentation, acknowledging the McNair Scholars Program for funding my research, and Dawn Lunding, who was an adjunct instructor through the School of Nursing that brought me on her research. So the presentation outcomes are to understand the student's perspective regarding different learning formats during the COVID-19 pandemic, and evaluating the resources that students utilize when taking an online course versus perceived challenges, and understanding the resources that concluded student success when taking an online course. So through the COVID-19 pandemic, we all know that it's struck a big impact on all of us, depending on the resources that we had prior, the resources they have now. And it struck the impact that we'll always remember. So through the COVID-19 pandemic, we also have to understand through this research prior the emotions and the resources that students might have had physically or emotionally prior to doing this research. So through the design, we use a qualitative and quantitative research designed to compare the results present in our online questionnaire. So an online questionnaire was sent to students enrolled in nutrition for healthcare professionals, which is for students on the pre-nursing track at Northern Michigan University. The survey utilized basically asking questions, understanding, they were given an initial survey starting the winter 2020, and then this research ended winter 2023, or 2022, sorry. And basically talked about they were able to rate their resources that they might need prior to taking an online course, and then they were later given a post survey, and then they were both distinguished, and we analyzed them, which resulted in challenges they might have had and prior to the taking this online course versus what they thought they might not have had. So the purpose of this research is to give benefit to faculty understanding the perspective regarding the student's point of view when taking an online course during the COVID-19 pandemic. So yeah. And then the results indicated trends and worries and actual problems. So we sought out 3 themes, which I'll talk about. So through a literature review, I composed about 14 articles, research articles, about COVID-19 and different learning formats, and understanding my perspective regarding this research prior to starting the research. And so one of the quotes it was the student's perspective in online learning and COVID-19 pandemic. So this also talked about how within the COVID-19 pandemic, they saw a rise in lack of motivation, anxiety, stress, and isolation. And then we'll see in our themes that actually these overlaid the same exact ideas and ideologies that the students felt too. And then also understanding the distance learning versus remote learning format. So it's understood that distance learning has been around since technology has advanced, but understanding that emergency remote learning format is much different due to the preparedness that professors might not have had prior to taking this online course. And it gives rise to understanding through the next format. There was actually, this research was done here at Northern, and it was on the perspective regarding the higher education professionals, regarding their, if they were competent enough to navigate navigating administering an online course to students. And through this research that was done here at Northern, it was thought that if professors maybe were here longer or were teaching for a long period of time, they had a greater and competent understanding regarding navigating administering an online course to students, and also saw a lot of those professors that maybe just started here at Northern didn't see, weren't as competent as the professors that had greater impact in having taken an online course or perceiving past given an online course. So yeah, we have 2 figures right here. And the first one, it talks about through the initial survey, it was talking about, so during the winter 2020 semester, this is from our survey that we gave, and basically 44.4% of students have taken 1 to 2 online courses regarding the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. And then we saw through the post-survey, or the initial survey that was present within winter 2022, 57.1% of students have taken 5 to 7 online courses, which we saw through our research paper that this could have resulted in an increase in lack of knowledge prior if you have taken more online courses when going through a COVID-19 pandemic, and also navigating an online course, having that motivation or time management skills prior because they were taking so many online courses during this time. So these are our biggest concerns that we saw out. So through our initial survey, we saw time management and motivation being our biggest challenges that students might have faced prior to taking this online course. And follow-up survey, we also saw time management and motivation being the biggest themes that we saw students still had following up regarding ending this online course. And then also perceived challenges, which is no concerns, resulted in 10 individual participants that saw basically perceived challenges, which I'll reiterate again, basically go into maybe the students they thought they would need these resources or they thought they would have these challenges, but later by taking this course, they didn't have these challenges. And we can result due to the professor maybe having the increased knowledge when navigating an online course, also having that increase in perception or the resources that were utilized prior to being a professor. So a common theme, so I'll just reiterate them again. So through motivation, we saw out different types of motivation. So we have extrinsic motivation and intrinsic motivation. So we see that students, obviously, we are all individuals and we all have different challenges, perceive challenges differently, and maybe individuals are more motivated than others, which results in an increase in understanding through navigating this, taking online courses regarding the COVID-19 pandemic. And then time management, understanding that with having effective time management, it's very important to have that time management skill regarding the path through taking an online course, as there's so many things that might be happening, the lack of resources that might be present due to that class or navigating through different types of courses. And then perceived challenges, again, these were the challenges that students thought they had prior to taking this online course and then resulted that they didn't have these challenges prior. And also could be due just to some limitations due to the amount of participants that were present in this research. Through the initial survey, there was only 57 students that participated in the survey as a whole through winter 2020, through winter 2023 semester. But through the post-survey, we only had 27 participants answer, as it was optional for the students, so they weren't given any credit when taking this course or when taking the surveys or participating in the research study. So what has helped students be successful when taking nutrition for healthcare professionals through these different learning formats? So nutrition for healthcare professionals started as a hybrid learning format, but due to the COVID-19 pandemic, it resulted in an online learning format. And basically, Dawn Lundin, who was the professor when we took out this research and analyzed the stuff, was she gave the resources regarding time management. She had tasks due to to-do lists for the first part of the week, which resulted in an increase in time management skills if those students didn't have effective time management skills. They were given, so through the to-do list, they were given all the tasks that were needed to be ended through that week, and it could have helped aid in their success. And then also, Dawn Lundin also had videos present regarding like navigating through projects, navigating through reviews that they had to do regarding nutrition, and that also, the students felt that also aided in their help and their success. And then also, Dawn Lundin, she also had, so basically you can tell students that, hey, these are my office hours, but she had I believe she had Calendarly, I think that's what it's called. And basically it reiterated that here I am here at this time, and it gave a time for not just these set times, but times that could be within those students' or those students that need the different time out of their time, and also saying, hey, if these don't work for you, these are also times good for me too. So, if that makes sense. So through the conclusion, so we obviously know that the world has changed constantly and is still changing due to interruptions, including but not limited to pandemics, wars, mental health issues, social conflicts, and many others that have been keeping individuals from fully accomplishing the present and future agendas. So it's so important to keep doing research regarding COVID-19 pandemic, as the rise for the challenges that are still present. Yes, we're navigating through a different world, but there's still challenges that are still present due to the influx in the lack of support, motivation, or the mental health issues that were present when people were navigating through the pandemic. So, yeah. These are my references. Any questions? Awesome.
Presentation of the day. The presenter could not be with us in person, so we have a voice thread that we'll be playing for you. The presenter is Elishaba Peterson, and the presentation is on advocacy speech for playfulness in kindergarten. So I will play that now.
Elishaba Peterson, and I'm excited to be here with you to talk to you about playfulness in kindergarten. So teachers, administrators, school board members, play has become just specifically our kindergarten classrooms. Let's look at a bubble. What does it make you want to do? Or what does it make you think about? Do you want to touch it, pop it, draw it? Think about it's a circle. Let's eat it, chase it, blow air at it, catch it. How about make more? Can we pinch it? How long will it last? Guard it? Let's play with it. There's a problem. For example, about 3 years ago when I was teaching positive action, which is a social emotional learning class in the kindergarten classrooms, it often had worksheets that came along with the lessons, the pictures. There were often pictures that the kids had to cut and color and glue and put in the logical places. And as a teacher, this seemed like a tangible way for me to see that the kids were learning. However, in reality, it was really only showing that they were good at following directions. And we have become so dependent on this in our academics to lean on the papers to be the evidence of the learning. And then we give the kids unwatched playtime, when in reality, they're still learning. And generally speaking, while content is explicitly taught in kindergarten and early elementary grades, there are often missed opportunities through the engaged playful learning experiences in which the children have autonomy and agency to approach problems and seek solutions in ways that integrate different content areas into the interdisciplinary learning activities. So why is play important? It breaks down the boundaries and sets and the set expectations. It challenges our minds based on things we already know. It often involves social interaction, which we all want to see more of. and it encourages creativity. It's good for our mental health. It's said that play makes us feel better and is a great strategy for resilience. So let's just set the stage in all of these academic areas and observe how free play can extend our children's learning. If we set the stage in literacy, we might include some ways that the students can do doctor scripts or play restaurant, take orders. How about being a political speaker? Accountant, secretary, journalist, magazines? The things they may learn through their play could include things such as teaching others things that they already know, how to make a list. How about taking a phone call and then writing it down? Working on speech and communication skills with others is important in all of this. An example of guided play might also be that kindergarten classroom that integrates a nature walk and a cognitive goal, such as observing and documenting a natural phenomenon, and then addressing multiple domains such as linguistic and physical and social. In math, play can still happen. We think often about math when we think about games. Children can learn math concepts as they play dominoes and board games instead of circling numbers on a worksheet, which is a rote activity that offers no exploratory or social learning. We can set the stage for play in math by making ways for them to play grocery store, be an accountant, run a restaurant, do timed relays. How about building with blocks and construction? The things they may learn through this play could be anything from measurement terms, teamwork, money and time concepts, and problem solving. Play in science, we need to set the stage by allowing them to be teachers, engineers. How about forest service workers or explorers? Laboratories, be a vet, have a farm or garden. In the play of these scenarios, they may question for further understanding. They may make predictions and draw conclusions. They're going to gain an understanding of nature and their fine motor skills, and also increase their ability to investigate things. Children have opportunities to develop new vocabulary and build conceptual understanding when their learning is scaffolded with the props. Play can also happen in social studies. Let's set the stage to be a traveler. How about a pilot, or make a family trip or community event? There's road engineers and foresters and government people to talk about how things are run. How about famous people dressing up and talking about history and different cultures? The things they may learn through this time could include things such as making maps and understanding them, their planning abilities and thinking ahead or thinking of things in the past, comparisons of each other and the community that they are a part of. Guided play provides the opportunity for new information to be integrated with existing knowledge and updated as children explore. Many of us as teachers already have these things in our classrooms to set the stage with the materials in our classes. But are we really allowing the students to choose how they want to play with them, to ask questions, to expand their knowledge, and to expand their understanding of the world around them? Let's play with bubbles. Teachers, we can build on the children's natural curiosity by creating engaging opportunities for children to construct new knowledge through their play. Let's touch it. Let's pop it. Let's draw it and eat it. Let's chase it and catch it, pinch it and guard it. Let's learn from it.